watching Midday Live, and soon I will be joined in the studio by a gentleman who tried traveling out of the country en route through Libya to some other European countries. But what's trending from yesterday to today has to do with the U.S. state government deporting 108 Ghanaians from that country with chains for various offenses. And in this slide here, you see Ghanaians deported globally. That's in the year 2013. There were 2,940. In 2014, 3,556. And out of the 3,556 deportees, with first focus on commercial lights, we had 2,618, mass deportees 76, and then also inadmissible 725, and then removed or refused entry, that's 137. I do have very close to me Eric Opokuwari, who attempted traveling to Europe through Libya and the Mediterranean Sea, but was arrested, and he said he gathered himself and found a way of getting back home. Hello, Eric.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, first of all, what was the intention to move out of the country, and how was the journey?
Actually, when I was school, I had some friends who had their parents abroad, and when they come to pick them from school, they show some kind of wealth. I mean, riches, you know, nice cars, nice clothes, come from abroad. So I was kind of enticed. And I said, no, one day I have to move abroad. So as I completed high school, I tried going. You know, I applied a visa, I was refused. So I thought of plan B, and then I gathered myself. I asked a colleague who has been to Libya for a map. So I got the route, and I traveled from Accra to Boko to Burkina Faso to Niger. There I met a larger, you know, number from sub-Saharan African countries having the same aspiration as me, you know. So virtually became friends, and
the wealth aspiration
to seek a greener pastures abroad, you know. So we gathered ourselves, and there were smugglers. I mean, Niger, a lot of smugglers, you know, secret places. They come for you, you pay money to them, then they transport you to Libya.
So, en route to Europe or wherever you wanted to go to,
yes.
What was your focus?
Focus was to go to Europe, but
Which
through
country?
Libya.
Specifically?
No, I didn't have a specific country in Europe in mind.
All you wanted to do was to get to Europe?
Yeah, Europe.
And what were some of the challenges you encountered?
Yeah, when we got to Niger, I mean to Agadez, that's where the trafficking business actually takes place. We paid money to a trafficker, and we waited for about 2-3 days. He arranged a car for us to be transported to Libya, you know. And a very bad car, you know, roofless one that we use here to transport charcoal, you know. So was a lot of people on board, women and underage, you know, from sub-Saharan African countries, all going to Libya and then Libya to Europe. So the car was very bad, and so in the middle of the desert we had an accident. The car couldn't go again, you know, and so the driver said we should wait because the engine is hot, so it's going to be cold. So we waited for some time, and still it couldn't. And there we started dying because the water we had carried had finished up. And so what we needed was water. The sun is really hot, like hell.
How many of you were in that truck?
Come again?
How many of you were on that truck?
It was about 60-something in one truck. You can't even sit down. You have to stand up. Somebody will be stepping on your toe and stuff like that. It was really hectic.
How many Ghanaians? Were you the only one?
No. Was about 25 Ghanaians.
Females included?
Females were 2 females.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they all make it? So did you actually get there? No,
after the car broke down, we needed water. So they showed us some oasis in the middle of the desert. And afterwards, we walked for about 2-3 days, and people started dying. Somebody will be lying down dying, you know. We needed water. There we started drinking our urine. We needed water terribly, you know, to quench your thirst. Heat was too much, you know. So a lot of people died. Before we got to the oasis, was left about 10 people, you know. And so the authorities came for them. We gathered all of them, and we gave them mass barrier. And then we get to another town called Druku. we also picked another car and went to Libya. Also the same situation, actually.
So you got to Libya eventually,
Yes.
but you didn't get to Europe?
No, I tried.
Were you arrested?
Yes, I was arrested.
And
when I got to Libya, I didn't have money by then. So then I tried to work and gather myself, gather some money to continue the last leg of the trip. You know, for about 5 years. I stayed 5 years and trying to work to gather some money. Sometimes some trip I have to pay some money, and after paying the money, the traffickers will kind of deceive you. You can't get the boat, and you have to come back, work again. You understand? In Libya. And eventually in 2014, I actually got the boat. And when we were about to set up, immigration came for us. We were kind of intercepted, and they put us in the deportation camp. You know, for some time. It was terrible. You know, they treated us really badly. And I came out, I tried again, I was arrested, put in the same place. So then I said no, then the third time wouldn't be a bad news. So I tried, I came out, gathered myself, you know, to come back home, you know, you understand.
Any lessons learned?
Yes.
Did you want to go back given the opportunity?
No, I realized that actually it was a misconception, misinformation, you know, because here they told us, oh, when you go to Europe or go to Libya, you could was 2000, I think 2002, we could earn as much as 500,000, just 50 Ghana cedis. At that time was a huge money a day, you understand? So I kind of enthused, I was kind of enticed to go. But now, when I got there, it wasn't like that.
Now, you saw the statistics I just read out about some Ghanaians deported back home.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give? Yes, you're saying that it's a fairy tale, the stories are not true.
Yeah.
But is it worth it? What advice would you give to young people? Because there are people who are watching you and think that once you've been able to get to Libya, then they can also make it. But what would you tell the young Ghanaians? Today is National Farmers Day. Efforts are being made to move the youth into agriculture. Others also want to move out. What advice would you give to them?
I would say that it doesn't actually worth it because it's 50-50. I mean, you could make it, you could die. And you are not going to kind of pick gold bars on the street. It's tough over there equally. So why risking your life to that extent? It doesn't actually worth it. After much of my trip, I came back to Ghana, gathered myself, set up a business. I was able to go apply a visa, go to Europe. And after that, I tried to locate people who are staying in Libya, in Europe illegally. Try to talk to them, to listen to them. And the story wasn't good. I met some of them in Stockholm Central Station in 2012. You know, they were, UN has to fill them.
Okay, Eric.
2 consecutive times, I met them the same situation.
Thank you very
much. So it
much.
doesn't actually worth it.
So would you have more of Eric's story in our subsequent bulletins? But thank you so much, Eric Opokuwari. He attempted traveling to Europe. It didn't work out and he's back home. You're still watching Media Live. We have business shortly. Do stay.